What you guys, got another video here for you on how to create an awesome encrypted USB flash drives for your data security. Now these can be used for storing passwords or storing sensitive information like bank details and anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do this for free, but I'll also show you some paid options as well if you're interested in that. So let's go ahead and open up our browser here first off. First off, you're going to need to get yourself a USB flash drive. There's quite a few to choose from out there, but this one is the Samsung version and it is super fast. This will give you super fast speeds. You can see here 300 MBs, which is super fast data transfer speeds, and it's £10.99 for the 64 gigabyte version. This has a Type-C connector on here, so make sure your computer does support Type-C. There is other versions out there that have a different connector on it. For say USB 3.0 or 3.1, you can use those with a different type of connector on the end there. So again, this is a 64 gigabyte version, and they do a 128 gigabyte version here for £20. And we also have a 256 gigabyte version, which is super fast as well, 400 MBs for this one. Really super fast data transfer speeds. Now, just want to cover another cheap way of keeping your passwords and banking details safe, and this is something like Yubico, YubiKey 5 NFC two-factor authentication, USB and NFC security key. Now this is a super essential bit of kit in 2022. This can store all of your passwords and banking details and things like that to make it super secure. It's impossible to penetrate and get your information off. It's all encrypted and secure, and it supports many different platforms. It really is a really affordable way of using banking and other payment methods online, and also when you're out and about in the shop. You can keep it on your keyring, and again, I would advise everyone to use something like this for the future, especially in 2022. Now, you can't really store data on this, but so I'm going to cover this right next with the next option, which is something like this. If you've got files or data quite a bit, then obviously the Yubico key is not going to cover that. That's more for payment methods and passwords and things like this. This, on the other hand, has a little bit more data storage on it, i.e. 30 gigabytes is pretty pricey, but again, it is solid and encrypted. Level 3 validated 256-bit encryption, hardware level. It is really a secure method of securing maybe 30 gigs worth of data on here. Could be your precious information, whatever that is, I do not know. Again, data travel, which is by Kingston, also offer a Vault Privacy 3.0 flash drive, 64 gigabyte version for 156. Again, this does support FIPS 197. It is super secure to have. Now, you may be thinking, what happens if I drop any of these devices? Can people gain access to it and get my sensitive information off it? The answer to that is no. You will not be able to get access to the data on here because it's encrypted, the same as the Yubico key. If you drop this, they would not be able to get your personal passwords or banking details from any of these devices. So what other methods can you use which are free, because this is what this video is about? So the free option is Veracrypt. Now Veracrypt has been around for quite a long time, but it is a safe way of encrypting a particular container on a USB flash drive, which is free. So if you don't want to spend any money and you've got a USB flash drive, then you can use something like a Veracrypt software. Let me show you how we're going to set this up. Now, I've already got a USB flash drive plugged into my computer. It's just a small drive just for this tutorial, but I would advise you to get as fast a drive as possible. If you're going to be keeping larger data on here, then obviously you want a faster drive. But if it's just passwords and stuff, then you can obviously use a cheaper drive if you want to. So let's go ahead and get this installed on the system. I'm going to download this version here for Windows, but it does work with Mac OS and also Linux. So we're going to download the software here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to our USB flash drive here. We're going to create a folder, and you can call this whatever you like. Let's just call this, say, Veracrypt, and we're going to install the software into this folder here. This is going to be our portable installation on our USB flash drive, so we can take this around and use it. So let's go ahead and Now put this down here and go to the installation and click on the installation file. Once we get this open here, we can now choose our language and we can click OK, accept their terms and conditions, go next. And we want to use the extract method here. So we're going to extract it to our USB flash drive. And this is going to make this a portable mode, as you can see here. So click next on the extract. It's going to give us a little note to remind us. I'm going to click OK here. And it's also going to give us another note of some things that Veracrypt is going to need to do if we're going to run this in portable mode. I'm going to say yes. And now we need to choose the location, and this is the location we want to go to. We want to go to, obviously, our USB flash drive here. So we don't want to go to there. We want to go to our USB and our folder that we created. Click OK. And we're going to now extract to this location. Will take a bit of time, so let it extract all the files that it needs. All the files have now been extracted to the destination. Going to click OK here. If you want a donation, you can do. You click donate now. We're going to click finish. And it's opened up the folder, as you can see here, on our USB flash drive. And here it is right here. So what you can do here is we need to obviously open up Veracrypt now and create a container inside here so we can make it more secure. Because as right now, we can get access to this and see all the information on here. So we need to go to the Veracrypt area here. You can see it right here, Veracrypt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly create a shortcut here for a program here on this file. So let's go ahead and create a shortcut. And it should see the shortcut being created right here. We can copy this one here. Go back to our secure. And we're going to paste this here. Okay, so now this is a shortcut to this program. You can hide this if you wanted to, but we're not going to bother here at the moment. So what I'm going to do next is run this. And there we go. So what we want to do next is we need to choose a volume here. So we're just going to choose some random one here. Let's just always go down here to say X, something like that. You can now create a volume. So they're going to go ahead and create a volume. And you should see here, create an encrypted file container or encrypt a non-system partition or drive. So we're going to go through to create an encrypted file container. Go next. And you can see here, standard Veracrypt volume or hidden one. So just for this video, we're going to be doing the standard version here. Go next. And now we can select the file that we want to use. So let's go ahead and get a file on our flash drive so we can use that file as our container. So we've gone back to our USB flash drive and you can see it right here. I'm just going to right click here, create a new, and we can create whatever file we want here. So let's go ahead and create one of these files. Let's just use this file here. A Word document, and we can say something like that. You can call yours whatever you like, but let's just use this right here. So I'm going to now drop this down here. I'm going to go back and select our file. Never save history is check marked. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to go to our secure and choose our container file. There's nothing in it at the moment, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to say yes here, and you can now see we've got our secret .docx file. I'm going to go next, and this is where you can choose your encryption. If you want to use just your standard AES, you can do, if that's what you want to do. This is AES 256. And what you need to do is once you're happy with this, we can now leave this as is and we can go next. So whatever one you want to choose, click next. And here it's going to ask you for the size. Now remember, this has to be within the size of your USB flash drive. And the size we have available on this USB flash drive is 28.54 gigabytes. So just bear that in mind. So let's go ahead and create a container of gigabytes. And we'll just say we want to create a 2 gigabyte container. You can create whatever you like, but just for this video, we're just going to use this size. Go next. It's going to ask you for a password. Now you can use keys and display password and use PIM if you want to. We're just going to leave this as is. Now you want to create a super strong password with all special characters and things like that. So we're just going to go ahead and put a simple password here. It will give me a warning, but just for this video, I'm going to create a simple password. And it should be longer than this. It should be over 20 characters long. And there we go. I'm going to click next. It's going to give me a warning, short password. We know this. They're easier to crack. So make sure you use a stronger password. And now we just move the mouse button on here, on this center part, until it gets all the way up. So we've got a nice secure level here. Now, what you want to do is choose your file system. We're going to be using NTFS. And you can see here, I'm going to leave this as default here. And we can do a quick format if you wanted to. Only for the following cases. Yes, so I'm going to do that. And click format. And there we go. It's getting it ready. And now what we need to do is once this is finished, it's going to create this container for us inside that document, and this is going to give us that secure container. So people will need to put that password in to gain access to that container on that USB flash drive. So even if you lost this flash drive, they will not be able to gain access to it. And you can even hide it, or you can encrypt the whole drive if you wanted to. So we're going to leave that as is and let it do its thing. We'll take a better time to create that 2 gigabyte container for us. Once she's complete, it will say that has been completed successfully. And now we can click OK. And we don't want to go next here because this is going to create another volume. So we can exit out of this. So let me show you how this works. So let's close that off and go to our container here, our secure container. This is it right here. And you can see it's 2 gigabytes in size. You can use whatever file you want to make a container. And if someone managed to get this particular type of USB and found it in the street, and they go home and plug it in, they will be able to see this sort of information here, but they're not going to be able to gain access to this file, this container, which will have your stuff in it. Now, if you click on it, and it's going to tell us that we found an unreadable content. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up. So we've plugged this into our computer now, and we want to gain access to our container. It's 2 gigabytes in size. They're not going to know this is a container. They're not going to know this if you've got loads of other dummy information on here. They may leave this file alone, and they're not going to know exactly. So try not to use the file that is 2 gigabytes for a Word document. It's a little bit suspicious. Try and use another type of file or folder and use that as a container as well. And that way it masks the data because obviously you don't very rarely see a 2 gigabyte Word document here. But if they click on it and they try to gain access, it's not going to give them access. If they say yes, it's not going to be good. If they say no, obviously it's not going to open. It's telling them that this file is not recognized. So let's just assume that they click on the Veracrypt. And now they're inside here and they're trying to guess how to gain access. And they guess the file container that is inside the secure area. Let's just say they get this bit right. They still need to remember the actual password. When they click mount, they're going to need to know what password it is. If they put the wrong password in and try to click OK, it will attempt to mount it. And if it doesn't marry up with the password that we've set, which will be a super hard password for them to crack, it will be impossible. So what's going to happen is it's going to give them a warning, as you can see here. And there we go. And they can't gain access. So the only way you're going to gain access is by putting the correct password in, and this should be super difficult. And again, you can do some mount options here as well if you wanted to. There's plenty of other options available, and we're just going to click OK, and this should now mount our container and where we can gain access to our sensitive information, which could be passwords. You can see here now that has now mounted, and what we can do now is just drop this down and go to this area here, and you should now see your area here. Go inside, and this is our passwords. There we go. And it's that simple. And obviously you would need to dismount this. So dismount, and she's safe. Now, if you lost this USB flash drive, which is this one here, people can see and access it here. You can encrypt the whole USB flash drive if you wanted to. And there we go. So let's take a look. And as you can see here, this is our container, and we have a USB flash drive. So they can access this, but you can literally lock this down if you wanted to encrypt the whole drive, if you want to do it that way. But this is using the container method, and this is completely portable, where we don't need the software at all because it's here. So we don't need to worry about installing software. We can just go in here and basically click on this shortcut. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this video. I hope this video has been some sort of use to you. I'll leave the links in the video description. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who join my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall see you on the Discord server for a chat, or I'll see you in the very next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.